Yo, what's good, everybody? Good morning, good afternoon, depending on where you're at. Your boy JP checking in live, man. RespectMyRegion.com. Coming to you guys live from a hot and dry, and it's getting cooking. Here, we're at Woodland Hills. We're in California. We're back in the Valley, Los Angeles County, baby. You know what it is. Beautiful day, smoking a joint. We're on the 104th episode of the Morning Joint podcast. And we're going to talk about Michigan. We're going to recap our experience at Flower Expo. We're going to continue getting high. And we're going to talk about some of the brands and products and people that I met there and share some thoughts on Michigan as a whole, all right? Today's a unique episode. I don't have a guest. This is really just about sharing my experience with you guys. We've got a lot of content coming. I believe the last day I was there, I believe I reviewed maybe 8, 9, or 10 products and did spotlight videos. So I introduced a new style of content. There's just so many times out there when I get to review weed when I get to smoke weed out on the go, and I make these mental notes. And then I get back on these trips and I can't bring the weed with me, right? And so, in Michigan, we flew into Chicago, we drove through Indiana, into Michigan. We went to New Buffalo. We went up to Manistee and Kalkaska. We went to Lansing. We did not go to Detroit on this trip. We went on the last trip, but we did over 800 miles across Michigan on this trip, right? And I wasn't able to review weed indoors because we stayed in a hotel and we're driving in a rental car, right? So it got hard. There's just not enough time at the end of the day. So as we went to events, I brought a bunch of flour, I bought a bunch of vapes, drinks, whatever. I ate them, I consumed them, I smoked them, I drank them when I was out and about. And so we introduced this new style video as this little review spotlight feature video. It's the same thing as a review, but I just talk about it and show you guys it instead of actually consuming it on camera. The consumption on camera just takes way too long at the end of the day. Rolling up a joint and all that, it just takes too long. So we reviewed 20 plus products in Michigan. Stuff that we were told was the best, stuff that we bought, stuff that we, sampled out at Flower Expo. You name it. We did what we could. We spent money out there and we got free stuff, and people paid us to do this that consider themselves best of the best. So that's great. Peachy hash, fire. Ice cream cash. Trip. ProGrow. Get that one up there. That shit was fire. ProGrow was the surprise. I had never heard of them. That shit was gas. That shit was fire. Rosin. Disposables. The people out there in Michigan kept telling me hash bash since 1976. Now, obviously, hash back then isn't hash today. And overall, we all know that the best weed in America does come from California. The best. And then also the variety of the best, the quantity of it, just the pure volume of it. Now, Michigan, Oregon, Washington, I would imagine maybe 1 or 2 here in Mass if we're lucky. Maybe, small craft people in different places. But you think about just the pure volume of growers up in NorCal and the pure volume down here in LA and SoCal and in the desert. It's just an unfair advantage. You know what I mean? And so, but there was fire, and it was way more affordable. The flour was more accessible. The rosin, more accessible as well. What I mean by that is just affordable price point. Everything was cheaper there. It's just the reality of it. To anybody in California that goes to Michigan, I definitely have to recommend Peachy. That shit was terpy enough to make you think twice. For sure. The rosin that they wholesaled to other brands to then put into vapes was phenomenal. Literally one of the best rosin vapes I ever had comes from Michigan now, and came from Peachy. It's as simple as that. Now, the highlight for me, these ProGrow disposable rosin vapes were phenomenal. Fucking phenomenal. This Moonbow that ProGrow had. Moonbow is not genetics from Michigan. Moonbow comes from Archive in Oregon. So we're talking Oregon genetics, West Coast genetics, perfected over here in Michigan, and it was incredible. I'd spend 45 to 50 bucks on that vape 7 days a week, bro. That's how good that shit was. That Moonbow was phenomenal. All right. Peachy's rosin, the packaging experience, I didn't bring because we flew out of Chicago. We had all these products that we got, that we bought, that we paid for. Some of them full price, most of them more affordable. But we had to throw it away, you guys. We threw away shit, bro. 28s, vapes. I threw away over half grams of rosin. I just was not comfortable driving through Indiana. We looked up the rules. Not friendly, bro. You look like you're driving, or you look like you're this or that, they can pull you over for anything and search your whole car. Crazy, right? So we just didn't have time for it. We got too much to lose. It's the first trip. It's the first stop on our North American weed tour. And I can tell you this, having put up money for trips before, back in my college days, my music manager, DJ days, having put up money and been on the way somewhere and gotten pulled over in the past, and that wasn't even me that got busted, I'm too smart for that. So we threw away 28s, pre-rolls, quarters of jars, quarters. I threw away 2 3/4. I gave away two of them. It just sucked, man. Just because of the rules. What's crazy is I could have a whole pallet of alcohol in my trunk, damn near. You know what I'm saying? So frustrating. Anyways, so the rosin was good. Peachy, solid. Pro Grow, solid. Vapin Ape. Vapin Ape had two of the best vapes I've had of recent memory. So a brand called Vapin Ape, super sick packaging, right? Inside it opens up. It like is one of those boxes that flaps close and then flaps closed again. And then it opens up and it's got this beautiful vape sitting there branded and shit, black. But then inside it looked like it was the holder for like a lightsaber, right? Just the way that they branded it. The outside had this cool metallic, chrome looking ape on it, looking fire and dope and aggressive. And then inside, like I said, man, it had a lot of information. The flavor was good. I had a little issue at first because I was just trying to rip it hella hard, and it just didn't have airflow like that. And so I gave the first one a lower score and then adjusted it, because when you sipped on it and you just kept sipping, it actually got better and better. And so it was almost like, user error in that case was the only issue, and that's my fault, right? So I really enjoyed Vapin Ape. They had these full spectrum oil vapes that looked like distillate, but then it had cannabis terpenes on it. And I read the box 3, maybe 4 or 5 times, because in my head I was like, damn, this looks like disty. And then it just kept saying full spectrum, and then it said 100% cannabis all the way through cannabis. The ingredients, nothing but cannabis. And I'm just like, in my head, I'm like, okay, this tastes like weed, this tastes fire, but how is it this potent? You guys, Michigan's terp scores, Michigan has, like, these people out there are really focused on terps. So I gotta say, Vapin Ape had the best full spectrum vapes I've ever had. They had some of the best rosin vapes that I've had. Again, I want to be able to rip it more, but that thing stayed, because I could only sip on it. It never allowed me to rip hard enough on it to get it to heat up and stay hot. So it's like there's just no doubt in my mind, man. Vapin Ape had the best vapes as a brand across the board that I've ever had. Like, rosin, full spec. It wasn't live resin. It might have been a CO2 process for that one. I'm not sure. It doesn't matter. It tasted so good. And on top of that, they had pineapple and other fruity flavors as well that were based on like their actual fruity strain or whatever it is. So it was like pineapple haze, and then these other 6 options. I don't even remember the other 6. I remember ripping it and just getting so high. Crazy, man. Absolutely crazy. Really phenomenal. Vapin Ape, very memorable. If you guys are looking for some of the best products while you're there, Vapin Ape, as a brand and for vapors, definitely what I would recommend picking up. Let's talk flower. We've talked through some of the vapes. We've talked through some of the rosin. Let's talk flower real quick, you guys. There was some good shit out there. Like, I'm gonna be real with you. I was surprised because this is my second trip, but I was additionally surprised. You know what I'm saying? Like, I was like, wow, this is way better than what I thought. Oh wow, this is way more than what I thought. Oh wow, this is more variety than what I thought. It was, because the surprise was gone, but it was just like the extension of what I experienced last time, right? And the reality was, the flower was good, you guys. There's a lot of outdoor greenhouse, mixed light. There's Cali guys out there growing their shit in Michigan. There's 20, 30, 40, 50-year, veterans of Michigan cannabis legacy operators, growing with people. I met some really, really cool people with some really cool stories. And the passion, these people care. You know, every state, every region has different issues, right? They got their own set of problems. They got their own set of history, right? Their own style of legislation, their own government. And then not only that, but over time, there's proof that they do it a certain way, right? A system. There's all these systems in place. Michigan seems to have found a way to succeed in the system that they have, but while also still falling flat on their fucking face for a variety of things. In Washington, where I'm from, in California, where I live, and then in Michigan, where I just traveled, conversion oil continues to be a goddamn problem. I was at Buddy's brand in 2021. I think this story might have broken 2020 about people accidentally buying conversion oil through a bad supplier, and then you're seeing it happen. And not only is it sold, but it's being purchased, and some of it's even being purchased intentionally. And so for me, it's crazy that we have operators choosing to do this. It's still choosing to do this. We're talking 2020 to 2024. People have figured out a way to play the game, to game the system. And now we're seeing prices and pressure and compression and all of these things make it, really difficult on these operators and these license holders, many of which are trying to do it the right way. They're doing everything they can to just really do it, the right way. And we've got these bad actors. And so repeatedly, when I was in Michigan, I kept hearing bad actors, bad actors, bad actors. We got to get the bad actors. We need more enforcement. We need more enforcement. Where are we? I forget what I think it's called the CRA up there, but as a consumer, as somebody who's a tourist who's going around to these stores, it would be nice to be able to trust the product a little more, to know that you guys are doing the audits that you're supposed to do, in addition to more random ones as well. So there's definitely a big opportunity for improvement. It's crazy. It was really crazy to hear on a panel operators wanting more enforcement to help the playing field level out a little bit. Like, these are people that didn't used to like cops, probably still don't like police now, right? Not really pro-government people. But because they have to operate in this system and their livelihoods depend on it, and their families and their kids and partners and all these things now, it's frustrating to hear them be frustrated about a lack of enforcement. I've even personally felt the compression here in California. I find that it's absolutely unacceptable to have recalls take so long, and as operating in the industry is one thing, but we're humans first. Imagine being sick or buying something for your family member and they get sick because of this kind of lack of effort. It's a scary thought. It's a scary thought when we're talking about consuming stuff in our bodies and breathing it into our lungs or drinking it into our, livers and kidneys. And it's a lot, man. It's a lot to consider. So it was interesting to hear them talk about more enforcement. The conversion oil, the pesticides, the THC scores, the terpene percentages. We as consumers in the industry, we've got to put some pressure on our stuff to get some kind of scientific standard across the board, man. This is just wild. All the variations between states, and I don't know. It's wild. Shout out to the people that are doing it consistently, though, and the ones that are working to make a change and showing up to those meetings and lobbying and getting on panels and trying to share the word and doing content, all that good stuff. That's huge. It's a start. Gotta get more. Michigan, we need more of you guys involved in the local community, going to the local city meetings and writing letters to the government and things like that. As a patient, as a customer, someone who visits there, I'm relying on you to do that shit because we want safe weed. Moving forward, Michigrown, really great. Like, I know people were excited about me sharing my thoughts and opinion on the Michigrown weed. I mean, yeah, like the reality is Michigrown was a dope brand, super sick on the branding and the packaging. Um, Strains, ice cream cake times jealousy, um, propane valley, 818 times kosher kush. Like, I got OGs and I got candy gas from Michigrown. That's what I smoke. The shit was fire. The branding was cool. The issue that I had was that the samples I got were from January, and what's crazy is they were still phenomenal. So the reviews on Michigrown are in. They're gonna go on YouTube here over the next week or so. You guys will have to stay tuned and go watch that. Please go subscribe. Visit our YouTube channel, search "Respect My Region," type it out, and give us the subscription, man. I want you guys to talk your shit, share your thoughts. It's the comments and the YouTube videos. This is where people learn and discover what's good or what's bad, and it's all about being honest. So I shared my thoughts and opinions on Michigrown. They got some good stuff. That OG, that Propane Valley was fucking gas. I would buy that every time I go. I'm gonna definitely seek that out and tell people all about it because that shit was fire. I also really enjoyed the weed from Kai Cannabis, KAI. Family owned, operated brothers, really cool group of dudes. If I knew them here in Cali, we definitely would be homies out here too. And I'm excited to start building a relationship and be homies with those guys and support them. They had on their table, they had 16 strains ranging from black cherry punch to jealousy crosses to push pops, and they had all the candy, all the gas. Everything looked extremely exotic and varying in color and ranging in the purples and the dark tones of it. Like these guys are on it. Like, we created this campaign years ago, the West Coast Weed Tour, because everybody says they've got the biggest fish. They all say they got great weed, and because people tell them they've got great weed, and there is a lot of great weed. I'm not here to tell you who doesn't have great weed or what isn't good or why. I'm just here to share my thoughts on it. And on this particular tour, we're looking for the best though. And that's the difference, is we're looking to discover the best. I'm down to showcase and share all of it, right? And give you guys my thoughts and how this falls. And like, obviously $5 to $25 products are not the best, right? But you can have better products at those price points, against each other. Distillate vapes, live resin, cured resin, edibles, right? Those are all price point, driven products, right? And so you can't have best of the best competing there. And we'll definitely touch on that. Some drinks taste terrible. Some vapes taste like burnt popcorn. They leak, they break. They're broken when I get them. I have reviewed over 1,000 products in the last 5 years. And there's a lot of bad and average stuff, but there's also good stuff consistently made at these different prices, right? And so for me, Michigrown, really wonderful. I really enjoyed Kai Cannabis. I really enjoyed Pro Grow. We saw Kinship Cannabis. That's the gentleman, Tyler, that I sent my photo on my other LinkedIn post. Again, just some really good terpy stuff. The one thing I felt like, growers here and the culture on the West Coast is definitely, the industry as a whole, we're definitely pushing THC isn't everything. But I think that even that message, that sole set of words, THC isn't everything. Yeah, I don't buy based on THC. You shouldn't either. Like, just that general culture. We actually talk about that more than we even talk about terps on the West Coast. So I want to be a terp centric culture. I want to inspire that to happen. We should stop worrying about I just wouldn't worry about THC. The terpenes on this are this, and this, and like just getting quicker there. And I would encourage everybody in the industry to really start to get a better understanding of like 3 terpenes, maybe 7 terpenes at the most, maybe 12 if you get good at it, and just understanding what strains carry those, what families of strains and genetics carry those, and understanding that, what they're like, right? See what that's like with the COA. See what that's like with in a bar chart, so that way you can get an understanding of like, wow, when it tastes like this much terpinolene, it's that means that it's, this jack, this train wreck, it also has this much caryophyllene. It also has this much pinene or myrcene in it. It also has this much this. I would really encourage any bud tenders that see this, or any industry person that deals with flower or vapes or whatever it is, to really start channeling energy towards being terp centric quicker versus just downplaying THC and not mentioning specific terpenes at all. Just saying the word terpenes and the flavor and blah 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 isn't enough. We need you guys mentioning specific ones. And so what I liked about Michigan was that they were much more terp centric from the flower people that I talked to. It was all, it was about numbers, and because that's what's on the bag, that's always going to be a quick focal point in the conversation. But I think it's really important that, they're like, oh, it's 1.4 this, oh, it's 1 point something this. And I also would go so far and reach back. Massachusetts does a better job than anybody, than any state I've been to, in terms of terps. They don't like talking over there. They don't like, they talk total active cannabinoids. They call it TAC. And so they're always talking TAC and THC. And then flower, everything is terps, right? And so Massachusetts has the best terp-centric culture out of anywhere in the country. That's just a straight up fact. The second part of that, Michigan definitely, on a better track than other states this far along into the game, talking terps. I was really impressed. Kinship had a lot of terpinolene driven strains, all super poppin'. I really enjoyed cannabis and their exotic strains. Michigrown had the OGs and the candy. Like anything that someone like me wants was available in Michigan. There was beverages. I reviewed the Pleasant Teas and another one that was really bad, a 2 milligram drink. You guys will have to see about that one because it was just trash in my opinion. We got some really good joints from C Junkie had a really good joint. Their flower joint that they gave me, this bubblegum gelato, tasted better than the hash hole that I got from them. Crazy, right? I had another product that was a hash hole, literally came torn. It had a stem catch on it and rip it, and so there was a giant stem rip. So funny. That's a fail, right? This is all QC. We're talking products here, folks. This isn't this isn't this isn't a game. This is real life products off a shelf. I could go into Target and review the snacks out the freezer, or the alcohol out the fridge, or the motherfucking towels that they choose to sell and put their name on. I could do any of this, but we choose to put our energy into what we know. I was a former medically certified bud tender in 2016 and 17. We've worked with a ton of dispensaries across the country. I think we're 40, 50, maybe 60 in terms of just campaigns and interviews and content and marketing. Loyalty, text messages, product reviews, interviews. I've been to over 50, 60, 70 grows. I don't even know what number it is at those anymore. We just go and go and go and go and go and go. And so a lot of opportunity for you guys to learn. The flower out there was incredible. Only got the chance to review a couple beverages, but I definitely saw Canna Quencher all over the place. I saw some really good, just overall, a lot of really good stuff, man. Steezy is out there. Shout out to the Steezy fam. It was really cool connecting with Tony out there. A bunch of really great people, man. This woman named Cheyenne, just really great community and culture. It's cool to see brands be in multiple places and, providing a platform and an opportunity to other people. I've got to show love to the people that sponsored this trip. Flower Expo, we really appreciate you guys for the DoubleTree experience. Big shout out for that. Thank you for powering the interviews. Want to show love to the homie Willie McKenzie, Darren Doja, Heritage Farms, Authentic 231. I believe the partner is either a Chad or a Greg. Apologies if I miss on that one. Just really appreciate you guys, in the hospitality and paying it forward to landing, for us to be able to work with other homies, right? I want to show a lot of love to Brady Madden, Evergreen Digital, and Steve Ripperip of Tactfirm. Brady focuses on SEO for retailers and other businesses in cannabis, and Steve focuses on retention. Steve and Brady and I both had really good interview conversations about what they do and what they're great at, how they can help. We really peeled back layers within each of their own businesses and their processes to help you give you guys a better understanding of what your money gets spent on. People don't understand SEO and how that can help grow your business. Um, SEO is great for acquisition. SEO is great for so many different things in terms of growing. What Steve focuses on is retention is about getting money back, right? You have people that visit your company and they're gone for 60 days or 180. What are you doing to get that money, to get them back into your business? What are you doing to get people more loyal? And so there's entirely different strategies that go into SEO and retention. Um, but they also overlap in some ways. And so it's good to know these guys. I also want to shout out Seedless Media. They were another new client of ours that helped power this trip. And last but not least, AIRO Vapes. And so to touch on Seedless Media, they have close to 200 cannabis clients specializing in also SEO, SMS, MMS, email, social media. They're a full service marketing agency for cannabis, and they work with some of the largest, if not the largest, cannabis brands and businesses in the country, North America and Canada. Definitely encourage you guys to check out See This Media. And AIRO Vapes. AIRO is one of my favorite brands. I'm so excited to work with AIRO. I can't wait to get some of their products in my hands. We've got reviews coming. We've got interviews coming, conversations with different partners of AIRO in different states. And so Michigan AIRO partnered with us on this one. We've got product reviews coming. We've got a podcast episode coming with them. It's exciting. I really appreciate their team for joining up with us and bringing this trip to life. North American Weed Tour Michigan was a blast. There is wonderful product there. There is great things there. There are awesome, fantastic brands. They're well branded. There's hype shit. There's clout shit. There's healthy shit. Everything from tinctures, topicals, edibles, beverages. I saw chocolates. I saw honey. I saw infused food. I saw bakeable goods, women-owned brands, black-owned brands. Uh, Man, it was so cool. There's so much more there to unpack. I can't wait to get back. And so to any Michigan companies that would be down to connect with us and chat, we would love to connect. We'd love to get out there and do some vlog content and interviews and tours and product reviews and just give people a better understanding of, what you do and the culture there, and help them discover you and eventually come spend their money there. Would be wonderful. So really appreciate everybody for hanging out and supporting. A lot of love. Respect my region, baby. You already know the deal. I wore this Raiders hat pretty much all week long. Shout out my mom and my roommate for the birthday gifts last week. The first week of 33 years old went really well, and I got to spend it with the homies in Michigan and make a bunch of new friends. And so big shout out to Kinship Cannabis, big shout out to Kai Cannabis, Michigrone, Darren, Willie, Brady, Steve, so many wonderful, Jeff Kashava, Mike Newt, I think it's Noonan, like all of you guys. I really appreciate you guys, man. Southland Farms was wonderful. Rolling Embers was wonderful. We ate a lobster roll in Holland on the near the water. Reviewed weed in parking lots. We had rappers walk up to us and send us their music and stuff. Like, we're blessed. So I really appreciate you guys for the opportunity, man. A lot of love. Respect my region. This was the 104th episode of the Morning Joint podcast. A little late in the morning. Had some stuff going down today, but we're on it. So big shout out to you guys. I really appreciate you all for the support. Stay tuned for more updates. The last thing I want to leave you guys off on is CannaCon Minnesota is coming up, is just a few days away. So I would encourage anybody last minute to make their way up to CannaCon in Minnesota. It's a big opportunity for you guys to be a part of their exciting, growing adult use industry there. Beverages in grocery stores and local gas stations. You got to think it may not be the most populated state in the country, but in some ways it's officially the most normalized, right? And so get your asses up there and out there. I love you guys, and I'll see you on the next one.